Hello everyone, this is Dalia Sawy. I'm so happy to be with you, and I hope that everybody is safe, and please stay safe during this coronavirus pandemic that we're all going through. In any form of personal interaction or communication, I believe personally it's not what you say, rather how you say it. And that's why I've decided that my presentation or session would be about how to have a better conversation. Better conversation, I mean here not the content of the conversation, but how to handle the conversation, how to carry on the conversation in a better way, so to be able to reach the goal, which is mutual understanding. In acting, the most important thing is how the actor is going to convey the emotion, the feeling, the meaning of what he's going to say. And this depends basically, or how we the viewers can understand what he's trying to tell us, would be through his facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, among other things, of course. But these are what we see from the outside. And it is the same in conversations. How you say it, what appears on your face, your posture, your tone of voice can really make the person in front of you either understand you perfectly or misunderstand you. In acting and in training for actors, we usually have a very nice exercise where we emphasize on this idea, which is it's not what you say, it's how you say it. For example, I can use just one sentence, and depending on how I say it, you will feel different emotions coming from me. I can tell you good morning in different ways. For example, good morning, or good morning, or good morning. Or it could be a simple word, good morning. So whether you're having a conversation, just a casual conversation with a friend or colleague, or actually you're having a business conversation with your boss or with a client or just people that you've just met, it's really very important to focus on certain points. Among them, facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, and other tips that we're going to talk about today. So to start with, I have a little quiz for you. Some pictures of people with different reactions and different facial expressions, and you just need to ask yourself if you can identify what is this person feeling, okay? So here is the quiz, and here you go. Let's see some pictures of body language and how we can read them, and they are basically, what do they mean for most people? mistakes that we make during our conversations, whether it's an expression that we have on our face that we don't actually mean, or some body language that we do that actually gives the wrong meaning. So let's take a look at some of those mistakes, especially the body language mistakes that we make, and why they're considered mistakes and how they can really cause misunderstandings. Turning your head away from the person or people you're with having a conversation. It shows that you're really not interested or not paying attention. So when you're in a conversation, you need to be engaged fully with your eyes, your ears, and your body. Checking the time too often, looking at your watch or looking at your cell phone to see what time it is, meanwhile the person is talking to you, or meanwhile you're talking and you're just looking, checking the time. You are, first of all, disrespecting the person in front of you because they're trying to engage with you and you're being disengaged. Another thing, you're giving the feeling that you're bored of this meeting or conversation. And three, you're making the person in front of you feeling very nervous and very stressed, and they cannot concentrate on what you're saying. Keeping your hand behind your back meanwhile you're talking or you're giving a presentation, it really conveys several messages that are kind of negative. One, you're not self-confident, you're not sure about what you're saying. Two, you're kind of very unfriendly. Or even when you're having a casual conversation, it could give them the meaning that you cannot wait till this conversation is over. So try to be more relaxed, try to keep your hand open, and even if you can use them, not much of course, but if you can use them, because your hands are your tools as well to convey messages and emotions. Leaning on something, whether it's a wall, whether it's a chair, a desk, it shows that you're not sure about what you're talking about. Could mean that you are too sure of yourself or you're lazy. So stand tall, you don't need to lean on anything. And if it is getting longer than it should, the conversation or the meeting, just suggest to have a seat and sit down if this is possible. Expressing boredom. Even if you're bored, please try not to show it. We've all seen the colleague or friend who is in a conversation or in a meeting is just so busy with their phone or looking at the ceiling or yawning or just trying to figure out the place instead of paying attention to whoever is speaking. Even if you're bored, try to hide your boredom. So now we have seen how important facial expressions and body language are in conversations. So let's get into some tips about having better conversations, some tips that can help us communicate better with other people and also will help us understand other people better. Ourselves, other people, better conversations, better communication, hopefully better world. Listen. And when I say listen, I mean really listen. Pay attention to what the person in front of you is saying. Do not think of what you're going to say. Listen to the words they're saying, listen to the tone of voice, listen to how they're saying what they're saying, because this will make the conversation better. Some of us, while they're listening, they are actually not there. They're inside their own heads, trying to see the argument they're going to build. So try to listen and take a pause after listening and prepare yourself, process what the person has said, and make sure that you understood properly before answering back. So listen, listen, listen. The facial expressions, the body language, the tone of voice are very important in conveying the message. And they can give the right message or the wrong message. Whether it's our facial expressions, our body language and gestures, tone of voice, or the person in front of us. So it is very important to read the person we're talking to and to pay attention to ourselves as well. Because, for example, I am a very excited person in general, and everybody knows that. So sometimes I get very hyper and I talk very quickly and people cannot understand what I'm saying. And some other times I'm very quiet and calm. And people actually might not pay attention to what I'm trying to say or saying because they know very well that who I am. So they pay attention first to the mood and to my tone of voice and to my attitude. Eye contact. I cannot stress enough on the importance of eye contact. You have to really look into the eyes of the person talking to you. Don't stare at them. Don't scare them away. Don't freak them out. But just have eye contact. The connection, this is the connection. Eye contact keeps the connection of the conversation, keeps the flow of vibes and energy going and back and forth. Use open-ended questions to keep the momentum of the conversation going, to keep the conversation mutable, to keep the conversation interesting and entertaining, informative, useful, everything. Do not use questions only where the person in front of you is forced to answer by yes or no or maybe. So open-ended questions are the questions that often, they start with how, when, where, who, why, what. This will give the person in front of you the chance to express themselves better, give you more information. And also what happens when you keep asking questions that only lead to yes or no, you make the person in front of you very uneasy. They feel they are being interrogated, and that really makes people feel uncomfortable. Don't talk excessively. Some people, sometimes they just don't pay attention and they keep on talking. And the person in front of you would like to say something. Poor thing, they don't get the chance because simply you don't pause, you don't stop, you don't ask questions, you don't ask their opinion, you don't give them the chance to express themselves. So please, a conversation is a two-way channel of communication. So yes, you need to stop, you need to take a deep breath, you need to rest. It's fine, you're going to get the microphone back. I promise. I have tried it and it works. Yes, conversation is a chance for two people to communicate, to exchange ideas, to exchange thoughts, to exchange feelings, to exchange experiences, whatever it is. Do not be the only one talking. Use storytelling means do not just keep the conversation boring by stating facts, figures, numbers, statistics. Try to convey your messaging as like in an experience form or a story that happened, and please try to not to make it too long. For example, I'll tell you a little story. I remember when I was studying in high school, and I was taking speech class. And believe it or not, this might be surprising to some people who know me. I used to be very shy, and I wouldn't talk in public to people, as in public speaking, giving a presentation or a workshop or anything. So I took up speech class, and in our speech class, we used to have an assignment every week on a topic. We have to prepare for it, and we have to get up and give a presentation or a speech, if you may say. So my first speech was, since I was an exchange student in the States, I had to speak about my country, of course. I didn't know what to talk about. So I had my speech or presentation prepared with the points of the history, the pyramid, the camels, stuff like that. And I could see that I was losing them. They were getting very bored. Until my teacher, he asked me, he said, Dalia, do you have rabbits in Egypt? And I was like, rabbits? What does that have to do with anything? And then I realized they don't want to hear about facts and points only. They want to hear stories about the people, about what we eat, about our traditions, about our norms, about our values, about everything. This would be more engaging and interesting and more memorable. It's not about any story. If a story fits, say it, tell it. If it doesn't, please don't, because you're going to lose the audience. Be flexible in a conversation. I mean, be ready and be open to listen to other ideas, other perspectives, other point of views, and be willing and ready to maybe change your mind about one of the topics or one of the points that you think that you know very well. That you're willing even at least to accept that there is another point of view that could be right. Not only your point of view is always right. Being flexible also means that you need to see if the person you're talking to would like to change the topic, or maybe there's a certain point that they don't feel comfortable talking about, so don't be pushy. And try, maybe you will learn something new, something different. They will introduce you to something you have never heard about, or you've heard about, but they will introduce it to you in a different way that you might like or accept. So go with the flow of the conversation. Don't try to control or guide the conversation all the time. It's okay not to know. If there is a topic or something that your person is asking you about and you don't know, please simply say, I don't know. It's a lot better than pretending that you do, or saying wrong information, or giving wrong advice. Simply just say, I don't know. If you are like myself and like to help others and cannot stop at I don't know, you can always say, I will find out for you, or I will ask for you. Do not repeat yourself, because it gives the person in front of you the impression that they are kind of not very smart, or that you are not sure of what you're saying. And if the person in front of you didn't get what you're saying, please try to rephrase what you've said. Try to say it in a different way, because saying the same thing over and over again is not going to make the person in front of you understand what you've said. Being clear. First of all, try to articulate what you're saying so the person in front of you can understand what you are saying in language, and then they can understand the meaning of what you're saying. Being clear means that you have given a thought about what you want to say. You're just not talking to talk. Try to be to the point, try to be brief, try to give the person in front of you the chance to answer so you can have a chance to say something else. The last thing, and it's a very important tip really, smile. Be friendly. Give them the feeling that they can be comfortable talking to you or listening to you. And a smile opens a lot of doors. So smile, please. Smile wherever you are. Smile wherever you go. Smile whenever you're talking to anybody. It really helps in communication. Again, remember, it is about how you say it, not what you say. Thank you so much. I hope this presentation is useful for you, and thank you for being there, and thank you for watching. And with this, I will leave you with a short video on how actors can express themselves differently, and the different facial expressions and emotions we learn and try to convey through acting. And I think they will help you to read other people's facial expressions, emotions, and learn to communicate better. Best of luck.